You know what they're singing. I know what they're singing. But we'll just have to imagine, as long as that's free, as long as anyone remembers, the most performed song of the 20th century. We made it a hit in 1 million homes across the globe. 6 notes, 6 words, and a name. Precious only because we all know them. We have them in common, but they're not ours, at least not in public. So imagine as privately as you can a silent overture to our story. In the beginning was the source, and the source was data and metadata, and it fed back into itself, a chain of knowing dreamed into being over millennia. The word transformed from the caves of Lascaux and the lips of the griot, from the hand of the scribe onto the printed page, now an electronic stream, not ink, but light.
How many times have patent monopolists been able to completely stifle innovation from other sources? It's the great imitator against the most creative minds in the world who want to join and be part of the free software movement. And who are you going to bet on?
With an act of Congress, millions of Americans became pirates and thieves. Scientific research was impounded, and the term of copyright was extended retroactively for the 11th time.
We couldn't get the source code, we couldn't make any changes. We were about the best programmers you could have found anywhere in the world, and we were completely helpless. We were prisoners of our software.
We live in a time of great battles over the ownership of culture. Can the sum of human heritage be reduced to intellectual property? How are songs, books, films, software, and science unlike material property? Is it just the fact of cheap and lossless copies? Or is something more at stake?
You can think of copyleft as being copyright flipped over on the other side. The idea is to make sure that every user who has the program also has these freedoms, to make these freedoms into inalienable rights. And the way we do that is we say, first of all, this program is copyrighted, a copyright notice to make it clear, and legally that prohibits copying or modifying it. But then we say, you have permission to modify it. You have permission to distribute copies. You have permission to publish modified and extended and enlarged versions. But there is a requirement. If you do those things, you must do it under precisely these terms, no more and no less. So when you distribute a copy with or without changes, you can't add any other restrictions. You must pass along the same freedom that I gave you.
You're doing this for political reasons. You're giving back to what you've taken, because, and it's the Einstein quote, if I've seen far, it's because I stood on the shoulders of giants. That's what, when you take this code out and you're working with it and you're doing things like that, you have been giving it a measurable head start, rather than having to do everything over again. There is a body of work that exists out there, and what freedom means is you can use that work. You can use it basically however you want to. You just have to follow a few rules that make it so that everyone else can do the same thing.
Who owns ideas? Where do they come from? From nature? Culture? From the creative labor of lone genius? From giants who walked the earth before us? Which claims to these treasures are rightful? Which are piracy? Stay tuned to our story. Decide for yourself.